for the benefit of those that are not here, and also for future use. So again, welcome once again. My name is Dr. Felix Ayodele Oyileye. And within the next few minutes, we are going to be discussing how to write an effective research title. Okay, for the purpose of this class, I want to differentiate between title and topic. Okay, so but as we go on, I'm going to explain the basis of differentiating it to you. Okay, so I'm going to just share my slide right away so that you can see my slide, and then we're going to continue from there. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to share my slide now. I believe you can all still hear me. Can you still hear me? Can you all hear me, please? Please indicate
Yes,
if you can
okay,
hear me.
hear you.
Okay, can you see my slide, please? Can you see my slide?
No, not yet.
You are not seeing the slide up to now.
No,
Can you
Doc, I can't see it.
You can't see it. Okay, let me
Can't
reshare
see
it
it, sir.
again.
Oh,
Let me
it came
share
and
it.
then went out now.
Okay, let me share it again. Okay, how about now? Can you see it now? You should be seeing my slide now. Can you all see it? Hello? Can you all see my
Okay, I
slide?
can see it now.
You can see it. What can you see? Please read what you can see.
Writing a research title.
Okay, good.
Dr.
Writing a
Felix
research
Ayodele.
title. Good. Thank you very much. So we're going to just start right away. Writing a research title. Like I told you, this is very fundamental to you understanding the entire concept of research. This is the starting point. This is the foundation itself. And I can tell you that there are most people that in the academics that didn't even have the privilege of being tutored the way you are being tutored. I must confess to you. There are many people in the academia today, they never had the privilege of being tutored in research writing as you are being tutored. And the beauty of this class is that we're going to start from the scratch roots, from the scratch rather, to build you up on the basics for writing research title. Okay, number one, the title in a study is actually part of your paper that people actually read at the first instance. Okay, it's the first things that that attracts people even to whatever research you have done, whatever article you have done. Okay, that's the public first impression that people will get when they look at your work. And the idea of the title is to summarize the main idea of, or the ideas of your study. Okay, the entire idea you want to investigate in your study, your title helps to summarize it. Very, very important. And usually, as conventional, as a rule, a good title should contain fewer words, but it should adequately describe your research content and purpose. The reason you are doing that research must be clearly defined in that your topic. Very, very important. Okay? So, what is the aim of research title again? The first thing is to capture the reader's attention. Very, very important. Okay? That simply implies that your research topic should be captivating. It should be captivating. I went through the topic that you guys submitted, and that is what even informed the idea of calling for this class, okay? Because I could see that a good number of you don't understand the main objective, the very aim of the research title itself, okay? So the initial aim of a title is that it should be captivating. It must capture the reader's attention. And number two, it should also highlight the problem that is under investigation. Maybe your interest is to look at the maintenance of social media in the society among the youths, or you want to look at the impact of smoking, drug addiction, mention it. So the research problem should be clearly highlighted in your topic. Very, very important. And I know you, in your secondary school days, you've been writing things like writing an essay and writing a composition and stuff like that. But research title is a little bit different from writing an essay, okay? Or writing a composition is a little bit much more technical in nature. Okay, so I will explain the two important concepts that must be captured in the research. The next thing is to talk about the different types of title. Now, I want to look at title as something that could be grouped into two broad groups. Okay, you can view title as something that we can group into two broad groups. The first group is the first grouping is based on purpose. What is the purpose of the title? Okay. What is the purpose of the title? Okay. It's like this class is going to end in the next 10 minutes. When it ends, I'm going to send another link to you. Then you join again, please. It's important. So the purpose of your title, number one is you can have the working title. You can also have the final title. Now, based on the structure of your research, of your study, you can have your title group into three types. You can have a declarative title, you can have a descriptive title, you can also have an interrogative or investigative title. I will explain each in detail. So let's start with based on the stage of your work. Usually, when you start any research, it will be expected of you to come up with what we call a working title. The working title is like the crude form of your title that is not yet polished, that is not yet refined. Okay? And usually every research work starts with a working title. It is the initial cast of your research title, which is subject to change as you progress in the study. Situation, you see, as you move on in your study, in any research, the possibility of course, the reality is that you'll be polishing that title, you'll be correcting it, you'll be putting it in perspective, okay? Because at the beginning of every study, there are a lot of things you may not know yet. But in the course of the study, there will always be the need to paraphrase again, to recast again, or to do a redraft of your title. Okay, so usually the working title is your first draft. What I wanted to write here is usually the first draft. Okay, that's the first draft of your title. And like I put it here, it does not have to be perfect. I hope that is clear. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So it does not have to be what? To be perfect. That is why we call it a working title. Now, the next is, how do you create a working title? Okay? Or why do you actually need to even create a working title? Of course, I've told you that naturally, when you start a work, you need to have a working title. Okay? But the aim is to help you focus on the study. You don't want to go outside the very focus of that particular study. So it helps anchor the focus of the study itself. And number two, it helps reorient, it will reorient you back to the main purpose of that particular something. Maybe you are trying to pick up some samples, you are trying to collect some information or data. The title, the working title will keep you on track. That is the concept. That's the idea. It keeps you on track when you are carrying out that particular study. Now, let's look at the final title. Usually, the final title of any research work is the polished construct of the focus, the method, and the result of that study. It could be referred to as your refined description of your study. You have refined it. You have cut off all the excesses, all the extraneous things from that your study. Okay, so we refer to it as the final title. So again, based on the stage of your work, you are bound to have a working title at the beginning. And when the work is concluded, mark my word, concluded, the work must have been concluded before you have a final title. In fact, writing a final title, you will need to write it after you have written the paper and even the abstract. I hope you get that. So you must have written the abstracts before you write your final title, because the title must reflect what is in that particular finding, what is in that paper, and which may be different from the working title at the end of the day. Okay? Maybe you started a study and your interest is to focus on the entire students in University of Nigeria in Nsukka. But along the way, you hit a few you have a few challenges. You maybe there's no sufficient fund, and instead of studying the entire students of University of Nigeria, you decide to restrict yourself to studying the male students alone or the female students alone. Or maybe you started with the mind that you wanted to use two different methodology for the study, but at the end of the day, you found out that one of the methodology is not appropriate, or method is not appropriate. Then you have to narrow down to a particular, or you even change the method completely. That will affect the final title at the end of the day. Okay. So now, generally, the characteristic of a good research title: number one, it should predict the content of the research paper. What is the content of the research paper? And it should be interesting to the reader. Number one, content. What is the content of the paper? It should clearly predict that. Mere looking at your title, somebody should be able to tell what findings you have in that paper. Okay? And number two, it should be interesting to the readers. Your readers, people, we have this challenge in this current era. Reading, the culture of reading is fast dying. I hope you agree with me. Do you all agree with me? Hello? Do you all agree with me? Hello? Are you
I
still
agree with
there?
you, sir.
Good. The culture of reading is fast dying. If somebody sent you a text, maybe an article on WhatsApp, by the time you read to a point, you saw read more. Most people will want to click on read more. And when they click on read more and they saw another read more, they are no longer reading it again. So the culture of reading is dying. So you must also develop skill to write in such a way that it will be interesting to the reader, not leader, please. That's a mistake there. It is reader, not leader. Okay? It must be interesting to the reader. And number three, it should reflect the tone of the writing. There's a tone with which your writing should flow. The tone of your research should be clearly reflected in your title. Okay? And number three, it should contain important keywords that will make it easier to locate during keyword search. Usually articles, when you publish articles, okay, there's what you call online search. And one of the things that will increase the online visibility of your work, with respect to publication, I will call it online citation. We call it citation of your article, your paper. One of the things that will improve the citation of that your paper is the keyword or the keywords. They are the keywords that you have in that particular paper. You must properly capture the keywords, okay? Now, let's look at this example quickly. Our time is fast going. I've put down here four examples of a kind of drafts, 4 drafts of research titles, okay? Number one, benefit of reading to Nigerian youth, a quantitative investigation. Number two, why mindful students make the best grades, okay? Number three, social media impacts, a title like that. And number four, youth on the move, a quantitative report on the impact of reading on students. Now, we want to grade this particular research title based on content. Recall in the previous slide, I said your Your title, number one, must predict the content. Number two, it should be interesting. Number three, it should reflect tone. And number four, it should contain important keywords. So let's go back to that slide. If you are still with me, the first one, will you say it predicts content? Anybody? Samuel, your people are inactive.
Sir, we are with you.
Okay, good.
With you.
Who
I'm
is
with you,
that?
sir.
Who is that?
I'm with you, sir.
Who is the lady that just spoke? Hello? Who is the lady?
Sir, I'm Precious. I'm Precious.
Okay, Precious. Precious, tell us.
Sir,
What do you
Precious.
think?
Precious.
Yes,
Precious,
Precious.
sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Precious, tell us the first research title. Does it predict the content? Is it clear on content? That title. Precious, are you still there?